Hello, brothers. I'm sorry for the lightning. I'm driving my car. It's gonna take me like an hour and a half or 2 hours to get to my house. So I really decided to do this video, and intelligent people will get some conclusions. I won't say as why I'm doing this video, or I won't explain any of the reason behind it. Just a story. Sorry that you guys can check on Facebook. You guys can go to my Facebook and look for Javier. Javier has seen my latest videos. I don't want to say what videos, and he told me just tell them what happened in the year 2003. Javier and I recently started to meet each other at the university. It was a fist fight in a bus. We call it guagua in Cuba. And well, I used some of my martial art knowledge, and I was able to stop the fight, and everything was cool and everything. And he asked me to teach him. I didn't want to take a student at that time. I had a really even though I was super young, like an old mentality. I said the knowledge was not for everybody, not like I do right now. And how can I say this? And I had already a student at the time, which I taught him everything I knew. Well, basically, Javier did request me to teach him, and I did comply and say, okay, Javier, let me teach you. So we went to baseball field. Cuba, we have many baseball fields. Baseball is the national sport. So we started working on his flexibility. And one day there was a guy. Let me describe you myself, and then I describe the guy. I was at that time like 195 pounds, 184 pounds. I am 5'8", almost 5'9". And this guy was at least 6 foot, and he had a big belly. He was watching us along with 2 students. I didn't tell him anything. I was not looking for trouble. I was just working flexibility with Javier. Both working flexibility. He went to where we were and told us why we were doing flexibility, and explained because he wants to learn martial arts, and I'm gonna teach him what I know. At the time I was already a black belt for first degree in karate. I had already took the exam for the second degree, but at that time was not officially awarded because the teacher moved out of town. But I had the knowledge of a second degree, and I had training in Bagua style like I did already for 3 years and a half. So this guy come in and say, oh, but why were you teaching Kung Fu? That shit doesn't work. At the time, there was no, at least that we were aware of, no UFC in Cuba. Remember, information is limited. There was no UFC, there was no ballet. So Kung Fu was very popular in Cuba, and Kung Fu was very respected. To make story short, I said, okay, don't worry. But the guy kept insisting, and the 2 students that he had came to where we were, and one of them told me, listen, I train Kung Fu. He even told me the school, which I later belonged to the school, which was the Wushu school from Roberto Vargas Lee. And I said, well, okay, that's your opinion, that's fine. And the guy kept insisting to the point that I was on the floor, and he grabbed me by the hand. He made me stand up and told me, okay, let me show you why Kung Fu doesn't work. And karate doesn't work, and boxing doesn't work. The only thing that really works is the system that I have developed. So, okay, are you sure? Okay, let me follow through. What is your system? What is about it? So it's a unique blend that I don't want to disclose the styles I have incorporated in, but it's lethal and it works for everybody and under any circumstances. Okay, let me follow through. What is it? So he said he grabbed both of my hands, both. And he told me, what will you do to escape this situation? So, well, depending on the level of aggression, if you grab my 2 hands, I would ask you to release me. If you don't release me, then what I would do is this. I grab his hands, and I was very flexible at the time. I had already worked on the flexibility, as I mentioned before. So I stretched my front leg, like a front kick. I put it on his chin, grabbing his hand, push it, and pull him to the ground. He said, well, but you did that because I just wanted to see whatever you have. I said, okay, well, that's one alternative. Said, okay, do it again. Of course, he was already prepared for a counter to that. So what I did this time is I grabbed his hand, I jumped, and hit him with my head on his nose. Very light. I didn't do any harm, just very light. So, oh, but if you do that, I can bite your ear off. I didn't do it because I don't want to harm you. But, so you know, those moves that you did don't work. So, whoa, but they did work right now. Guy was really pissing me off. I said, okay, bro, I don't really want to keep talking with you. I don't really want to keep discussing this with you. I just want to do my flexibility. Please leave me alone. So I went to keep working with Javier. We kept coming a few times. And again, the guy showed up with his 2 students. This time, he came very pushy and said, okay, let's do sparring or combat, like I call it. I'm gonna move the wheel, okay? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So, said let's spar. So I put my fighting position. I throw a jab. He parried the jab. I throw a low kick to the knee. Didn't check. Didn't move the hand. I throw another low kick to the thigh. Didn't check. Didn't move. Didn't do anything. He was trying to grab my hands. I was just throwing jabs to see what he would do, more or less, to give you an idea. Then I throw a jab, confusing, went over. I touched with the elbow his chest. I said, oh, but you need to hit me harder because right now I can kill. I said, right now I can't kill you if I want. Okay, don't kill me, but let me see what you have. I mean, if you're gonna break my neck, don't break my neck. If I know if you grab me here and I am immobilized, there is nothing I can do, so you win, basically. Okay, he said, okay, so we kept fighting position, and he told me this time do it harder. So I throw a low kick with all the power I had to the thigh. I think he got pissed off. I think he got mad, and he started charging at me. So I jump with a spinning back kick, hit him on the middle of the chest. He went to the floor coughing, and coughing. His students were to help him out. I said, I'm sorry. I mean, I told you this could happen. Please apologize me. He said, well, you were successfully able to counter me. That's fine. It's just that you are younger, but my system does have value. I said, well, I haven't said it doesn't have any value, but you don't want to disclose how you made it. What is your background? What is your technique? Time passes. We went on a party. Taking consideration, everybody knows everybody from the town. Transportation is not like in the developed countries, in the civilized world. So you go from house to house. If somebody's having a party, you are going to the party. So I was in a party, and then a big fist fight, and I see somebody getting beat up badly. Guess who was getting beat up? He's a student. One of his 2 students was getting beat up in the floor badly. He was getting beat up by a guy smaller than him, less weight than him, no martial art training whatsoever. He was just cuddling, taking all the hits. To be honest, I didn't do anything because other people got to him before I did. I was in shock. I didn't even move a muscle. I was just like, what the hell is going on here? And in my mind, in the back of my head, I was thinking, but this guy's training in martial art. That's when I start thinking, you have to train and you have to pressure test what you have. And that history changed my whole view, whole perspective about martial art. That's why I think it's important to train in a system with credentials, in a system with a Sifu that knows what he's doing, that is not afraid to pressure test. Forget about the pretty movement. Forget about, just work out what you have and make sure it works versus different people. And the only way to do that is pressure testing and combat. That's the story. It's a little bit long. Whoever listened to the whole video and knows why I'm doing this video, like it. I just wanted to share something that I witnessed. You can believe me, you cannot believe, you may know whatever you want, guys want. I don't really care. I mean, it is what it is. And like I said, if you guys want to know more details, go and ask Javier Morejon. He's one of my friends, and he's still in Cuba. Anyway, ciao, thank you, and take care.